Hello everyone, I am here to tell you a story today, and I really was never ugly. I know people have said I was ugly, but I wasn't. I wasn't pretty, mind, not like her. I sure wasn't pretty, but I wasn't ugly. I lived in a town, in quite a big town, with my father and my mother, and we were perfectly comfortable together. I mean, my mother wasn't the best of mothers, but my father made up for that, and he had ambitions for me, and I had learned to have ambitions for myself. And when he died, I was well on my way to going to university. I wanted to be a doctor, and there didn't seem to be any issue with that, only he went and died on me. And then life became very, very gloomy indeed, because my mother she wasn't the motherly kind, and she got worried. My father left lots of debts, and we were not comfortable anymore. And one day, just like that, she turned up with a man and said, "Welcome your new daddy." And I was like, "What? My new daddy? What are you talking about?" My sister and I were incensed. We didn't want a new daddy. Daddy was gone. He was dead. But the man was very meek and mild, and apparently we were going to move out of our house in the town. We were going to leave our schools behind. We were going to move to some village in the middle of the countryside, next to a castle where a prince lived. I wasn't impressed, and I tried to fight it, but what could I do? I was only 15 at the time, so we moved to the village, where the man had a nice enough house, and we met her. Oh yeah, she was pretty. She was so pretty. She was horribly pretty. Too simpery, blue-eyed, pink cheeks. Imagine the most revolting, pretty girl you've ever met, simpering away, polite. She welcomed us with lovely kisses. I wanted to bite her. I know, I wasn't very nice. I wasn't very nice then, but I had reasons to not be very nice, I am telling you. Anyway, so we moved in and we lived together. My mother feigned love. I don't think she loved him at all. And then she made a discovery that was going to change everything. She discovered his will. And in his will, it turns out he'd left us nothing at all. He'd left everything to the pretty child. And then he went away. I can't remember quite how or why or when he went away. I think he had interests in some plantation somewhere far away in America or whatever it was. So he left for a long sea voyage and left her behind, and my mother hatched a plot. To be fair, the reality is she wanted to kill her, but she didn't dare to kill her just like that. So she made her life miserable. And I have to say I helped, because I hated her so much. And she'd taken everything away from me, or so I saw it then. So we took her bedroom over, we moved her downstairs, we turned her into a maid of all works, and then we turned her into a scullery maid, and she sat by the fire, and she was still meek and mild. And you know, underneath all this ash and this black suit she was covered, she was still pretty. And then my mother announced there was going to be a ball, because the prince was coming of age and he was going to choose his bride. And she paraded us right and up and down in front of any number of dressmakers, got us into corsets. Oh God, it was horrible. And we went to the ball. Of course, she didn't go to the ball. There's no way she was going to go to the ball. Then when we got to the ball, well, I have to say the prince was very good looking, and he kind of seemed to like me. He really did. And he danced with me. He danced with me most of all, and again and again. And we had a laugh, and he was lovely, and we went to supper together. But then a woman turned up, another woman altogether. She was late. And my God, was she beautiful. She appeared to be covered in, I don't know, stars, maybe sparkling. She was gorgeous, blonde-haired, you know, blue eyes, the usual. And the priest just dropped my hand. He left me in the middle of the ballroom, in the middle of a dance. He dropped my hand and walked away from me, at which point I hated him, even more than I hated her, to be honest. And he danced with her all night. And then there was midnight, and then she ran out of the ballroom leaving behind a dancing shoe. It's a very small dancing shoe made of silk, I think it was. And the prince wailed. He couldn't find her anywhere. Nobody knew who she was. He asked and he asked again. So he started going from house to house in the entire kingdom, trying the shoe on anyone's feet. Well, women's feet, of course. And when it turned up at our house, my mom, I mean, can you believe it? My mother suggested that we cut our toes off so that the shoe would fit. As if I would do such a thing. I'm not entirely stupid. Did try the shoe on, and if I really crunched my foot and stretched the shoe, oh God, it was painful, but I just about got it on me. Do you know what he did? He grabbed me and put me on his horse. He didn't seem to be able to remember what I looked like, what the woman looked like. You know, the pretty one with the blonde hair and the blue eyes. He just looked at the shoe, and that was it. And he took me on, and he said, "I will marry you." And I was like, would you like to ask me what I think? No, he didn't want to ask me what I thought. He had no interest in the matter. Thankfully, something very odd happened. As we were galloping towards the castle with me screaming, "Let me down, let me down," the shoe fell off and the horse reared up and he jumped out. From the horse, I mean. And he took the shoe and he looked at my foot. And for 1 minute, there was a shred of intelligence on his face and he realized the shoe was far too small for my foot. He threw me off the horse, I kid you not, left me to limp home, turned around, galloped back to the house and started searching for the woman, the other one, because he tried everybody in the kingdom. There must be another woman there, he said. And of course, yeah, I know, it was Cinderella, and the shoe fitted and they gave her a good scrub and he married her and all that jazz. Well, good luck to her. I mean, frankly, he was dim. What happened to us? I hear you cry. Well, the man came back and divorced my mother, obviously. It was discovered that she had dark intent and she was sent away somewhere to be treated, possibly therapy. And my sister and I just left one fine morning and made our way back home to the town we belonged to. And we managed. And I did become a doctor. And I had to change my name, you see, because the story, as it is told, is not in my favour, is it? It's all about the ugly sisters, and somehow we seem to have sprouted big noses and large feet. I didn't have large feet, I still don't. And we are nasty and unpleasant and horrible. And I'm not saying I wasn't nasty and horrible and unpleasant. I was only 15. And I was under extreme provocation. And I regret very much what I did. But still, I wasn't ugly. And now, if you ask anyone to tell you the story, it is the story of a poor meek child who was destroyed by her nasty, ugly sisters. You know, people, you need to check out your facts, because stories are all very well, but very often you only listen to one side of the story, don't you? You never look further into it. You have your social media now and you just avidly listen to your idea of what the story should be like. I suggest you check stories out. I suggest you ask for other people's opinion. Because you see, my story, you'd never heard it, did you? No. The sort of it is all about fairy godmothers, and I'm not even going to go there, and what was it? Pumpkins? Mice? Seriously, now people. So this is me signing off. My name is now Bea the Storyteller. If you're interested, just visit my Facebook page. You'll find out what I'm up to, because I'm old now and I'm no longer a doctor. I am retired, so I'm a storyteller. And I specialize in telling stories from weird fairy tales, or telling stories from the people who never tell them, whose voice has never been heard. So if you want to have more, know more, let me know, and I will put some more on. Thank you for listening, and blessed be.